Well, hello and welcome into this week's edition of On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update. I'm your host, Chris Green, the Director of Network Growth for the Avoya Travel Network, and we're live on Facebook like we are every single Thursday at this time, 2:15 Eastern Time, 1:15 for those of you in the Pacific Time Zone. And we got a lot to cover. We're really excited. We're going to have a special guest here in just a few minutes for our Meet the Team feature, Andy Craig, our Senior Director of Consumer Marketing. But before we get into that, let's start like we do every week with an eye on the industry feature and a little bit of industry news, right? And we'll talk about some big things going on. Really big week on the cruise side, both ocean and river cruise wide. And we'll start with news from the Carnival Corporation. Really good news for the travel agent community, in my opinion. Adolfo Perez, their Senior Vice President of Global Trade Sales, announced that Carnival Corporation, their US-based brands, which include Carnival, Cunard, Holland America, Princess, and Seabourn, they're going to be freezing commission levels in tiers for 2 years, all the way through 2022. And as Adolfo said, it's the right thing to do, and went on to say it gives travel advisors one less thing to worry about. And I checked with some of our senior management here at Avoya Travel. We certainly concur with that. We think it's fantastic news for the travel agent community. As I've said in the past, relationships matter, and it's wonderful to see the Carnival Corporation reinvesting in that great relationship with the travel agent community. Staying in the Carnival camp, they announced this week that they're going to be pulling out of San Diego, all of their operations until at least 2023. The Carnival Miracle going to reposition and sail out of Long Beach instead. I don't think it's that big of a surprise. Really, what I see as a streamlined move, in my personal opinion. If you think about the tremendous investment that Carnival put into that brand new facility they have, and the revamping of that facility they have there in Long Beach, it really makes sense if you think about it. I had a chance to tour that facility a couple of years back, really world class. So that really should not impact the traveling public very much unless you live directly in San Diego. And even then, the commute between San Diego and Long Beach is really not that long of a drive. The American Queen Steamboat Company, we know them, they're famous for their sailings on the Mississippi. Well, they're going to be debuting in Alaska this year with their sister brand, Victory Cruises. It launches its first exhibition ship, Ocean Victory. Exhibition sailing, man, really big on a lot of high-end client lists. This is going to be a fantastic fit, I think. 202 passengers from what I'm reading. So really exciting. That's supposed to debut sometime, hopefully in June. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens, obviously, with the Alaska market. Such a beautiful region. I know my guest, Andy Craig, big fan of Alaska. I'm a big fan, and I know your clients are going to be a big fan of this new sailing. Viking Cruise Line announced this week that they're building a third river cruise ship for the Egyptian market. Yeah, a new ship on the Nile. The Viking Aton is currently under construction, and they plan on having that debut for the 2022 season. So sometime September of 2022. Egypt is hot again. There was a while where Egypt was kind of on the radar, and then it was off the radar because of political instability. Well, it is back. It is hotter than ever. And if you sell to high-end luxury clients and you haven't brushed up on Egypt as of late, you really want to invest that time, because these are the kind of itineraries that I really think your clients are going to be looking to book now and in the near future as they get ready. Following up on a story we talked about on last week's edition of On Deck with Avoya, the sale of Azamara Cruise Lines from the Royal Caribbean International folks to the private partner Sycamore Partnership. $201 million was the price tag for that sale. Well, the new company wasted zero time in making changes. Orlando Ashford was named the incoming executive chairman of Azamara. And then they also increased capacity the same week by 33% by adding a fourth ship to the Azamara brand. That's been the big story for many years with Azamara. They've been kind of stuck on 3 ships, as every other brand, it seemed, was releasing new ships all the time. Azamara was stuck on 3. We talked about how last week the sale should be kind of a win-win situation. And their investment in the Pacific Princess, which they purchased this week, just kind of proves that point. It's undergoing a full retrofit. It's going to debut in 2022, doing European itineraries. And then finally, from right here in the Avoya Travel Camp, fantastic news. Avoya Travel, in a press release dated yesterday, announced, and I quote, a significant increase in sales in the fourth quarter of 2020 compared to previous months during the COVID-19 pandemic, with December seeing the best month of sales since April of 2020. Avoya attributes the increase in sales success to many initiatives that it rolled out in 2020, including the Avoya Smart Leads program, the Enhanced Marketing Resource Center, new independent agency affiliate promotion, Avoya Conversations, our new text messaging technology, and extremely successful educational and networking focused virtual events that Avoya hosted in 2020. So some really very promising news there when you hear about that on the sales front. And it makes for a great segue to for my special feature and my special guest today on the Meet the Team feature. Andy Craig is our special guest, who we're more than happy to welcome today. Andy is our Senior Director of Consumer Marketing. And Andy, first off, thank you so much. Welcome. We really appreciate your time in joining us today. The first thing I want to know, Andy, is how'd you get into this crazy industry, right? How'd you find your way into the travel industry? And was travel a real passion of yours before you got involved in our industry?
Well, first off, thank you very much for having me. How I got started, I'd always loved traveling. I was very fortunate as a child to take many cruises with my family. And also my parents growing up owned multiple timeshares throughout the US. So we were going to Hawaii every year in the summer, and then ski trips to Tahoe and Mammoth and things like that in the winter. So I've been very blessed and fortunate to travel ever since I was a young child with my family. And then, right after college, started looking for, I guess we'll call it my grown-up job after college. And I really kind of just fell right into this. Was one of the first companies I'd interviewed with. And that was back in 2011. So I've been in Avoya almost 10 years now. So just thrilled to be here. I've had many titles changes as I've kind of grown with Avoya. I've been very blessed. They've allowed me to grow kind of internally inside the organization. So just super excited to be a part of the team and kind of see its transition over the last 10 years.
So let's talk, Andy, for a second about your current title, the Senior Director of Consumer Marketing. Give me a little insight of what like a day-to-day workday is for you, and tell me a little bit about some of the challenges that you and your team face and some of your favorite parts of your job that you have.
Yeah, so I oversee all of our consumer marketing kind of direct efforts. So everything that's directly related to the consumer to drive live leads for the Avoya network. So through our website, capture that interest for someone interested in a cruise or escorted tour or resort vacation, and kind of pairing them with an independent network in the Avoya Travel network. So really my job is more from a strategic standpoint. So I have an amazing leadership team that reports up to me on paid media, email marketing, social media, content marketing, and they really are independent and work on their day-to-day jobs on the individual campaigns. And I take a more strategic approach and kind of looking towards the future on how we can evolve our different marketing campaigns and creative ideas and things like that. So what I've really noticed over the last, let's call it now 10 months, I guess we're going on 11 months, we've really had to pivot from what has worked in the past. We were kind of in the status quo. So it's made us evolve our partnerships with the brands. And that's what I've been most thrilled about over the last 9 or 10 months, is taking my role and really collaborating more with the key supplier partners that we work with. So I've been, more face-to-face time with them and learning from them, and really collaborating with the two teams, our marketing teams, as well as the supplier marketing team. So it's been great to kind of foster those relationships and really grow those over the last 10, 11 months. And the big thing is I'm a numbers guy. So I really like to, in the day-to-day, I'm fascinated by seeing the performance of different campaigns and really engaging with my team to see what's working and what's not, and kind of provide feedback on where I think we can make some initial optimizations and kind of grow each of those campaigns.
We talked a little bit about the press release that just came out yesterday from Avoya Travel, and it highlighted some of the new advancements and some of the new best-in-class resources that have been rolled out in the last year. And I really think they're absolutely amazing. I mean, as a former independent affiliate in the network, boy, it really got my juices flowing and made me think about what it would be like to be on that side. Tell me about some of the new resources that you're really excited about, and tell us a little bit about the hard work and dedication that it took to be able to roll those out in the middle of a crisis and do it in such a timely manner.
Yeah, so this was kind of always on our roadmap, but with how last year went, we really, this was one of those pivots I was talking about of, this needed to be at the forefront. We really needed to be putting our best foot forward and supplying independent agencies with these resources and items and marketing collateral. So I was really thrilled with the rollout and the adoption of the marketing resource center. It's been amazing what the team was able to accomplish in such a short time, and it involved multiple teams. This wasn't just marketing, so it was really us putting our strategic kind of thinking hats on and how we can kind of build something from the ground up that was scalable for us to add additional marketing assets for the long term. So it was definitely not easy, but we really kind of put together this centralized platform that allows independent agencies to download different marketing assets instead of going out to all the different suppliers. The suppliers do a great job of providing these different resources, but it's difficult for an independent agency to go to 10 different websites to download 10 different documents. So what we've done is we've taken their resources and put them in one centralized location. Plus, we've built our own resources, our own marketing collateral, and then really housed it in the platform to get that in one centralized location. So it has everything from direct mail to social media posts that are pre-written and with the images, so they can take it right out to their own Facebook page and promote their business. It's got email assets. It's got kits to host a virtual travel night and all those great things. The other big project that I'm really excited to work on that we've rolled out recently is our on behalf of email marketing capability. So now when independent agencies allow us or they opt into participate in the program, it's giving permission to email their clients on their behalf, but everything is done without them having to lift a finger, and it looks like it's coming from them. So we send these beautiful creative HTML templates, and it looks like it's coming from the independent agency. All the replies go back directly to that independent agency. So it's really allowed us to help them foster those relationships, and there's a huge opportunity for us to continue to kind of evolve that program. So I'm really thrilled about those two projects.
And I mean, at least from my end and the experience that I have talking to some of both internally and externally, people who've had a chance to see like the new marketing resource center, just getting rave reviews. What kind of feedback are you hearing from those who are members of the Avoya Travel Network? Are the IAs in our network just as thrilled about this as we are?
Definitely, yeah. So we've had many calls coming, especially off our conference when we released this, to kind of help them walk through one-on-one, and they've been thrilled about all of the different opportunities. Specifically, the email's been a big one. It's really turnkey and easy for them to just copy the emails and send through Outlook and things like that. So they've been really, really thrilled on that aspect of it. And then, when we have some feedback on, hey, I'm looking for this, and you don't necessarily have brand X, Y, and Z in there, we're working with them and working with our partnership team to get that collateral in there. So we know it's in its infancy stage. There's a huge opportunity for us to continue to grow this. And part of my role and Jomana's role and others on the team right now is really to grow those relationships with the partners so we can get their content in a more efficient manner and really kind of scale this platform to have, an infinite number of assets for the independent agencies to use. So we're hearing, great feedback. And, when we do have the time, we love getting on the phone with each independent agency and walking through different nuances that they may see or feedback that they have. But overall, the feedback's been tremendous, and the independent agencies are really excited to continue to use it.
One of the things that I'm really excited about this new feature that we have on my On Deck with Avoya is our new Meet the Team feature, because not only do we get a chance to hear about you from a professional standpoint and the resources that you help make best in class for Avoya Travel in our network, but find out a little bit about you personally too. And I noticed on the slide that that Alaska was a place that you've had just a fantastic kind of like past experience. Tell me a little bit about what made that special for you and what might be on the future as far as trips that you're looking at.
Yeah, so I love, I was fortunate enough to go on a Norwegian cruise to Alaska. I believe it was in August of 18 or 19, but I was really, really excited to go. It was one of those destinations kind of in up front. I was like, am I going to be too young to really experience our Alaska, or am I going to enjoy it? But I was really blown away by the scenery and all of the different excursions that they had. So the destination itself was incredible. It was my first time to Canada, even though we were, only in Victoria and Vancouver. Those were just two incredible destinations, in the culture, and the people were so nice there, and the food was amazing. But overall, the scenery, nothing will beat it when you're in Alaska, cruising inside Glacier Bay, and the ship is doing a full 360, and there's no one in there. And we are actually, we're fortunate enough to see one of the icebergs. I believe they call it calving when it kind of falls off the cliff there. We were able to see that in real life. So that was amazing. And then also was able to go on a med cruise with some friends 2 summers ago. And that was a really cool trip as well. Being able to friends that we lived, 10 minutes away from, but got to Europe at different times. So meeting up with them in Dublin before a cruise halfway across the world, even though we lived 10 minutes apart, was just kind of a surreal opportunity. But that med cruise was also amazing. And it just made me realize, how young the US is compared to, Europe when you go look at all the different structures and architect that they have over there. So it's just truly inspiring to see all the history in Europe. So both those two trips really stand out to me.
I noticed your fun fact. We both have something in common there, and that we're both fans of barbecue and maybe the big boy toys and stuff like that. So barbecue, is that kind of an obsession that's kind of like a COVID-19 inspired thing, or was that pre-COVID, or what was the deal with that?
So that was kind of a half and half between COVID and having a newborn. So 2020, I was really blessed to have my wife and I bring our first child into the world. So that happened in just about a year ago, so January of 2020. So we were spending lots of time at home, and then COVID hit, and really in San Diego in the middle of March, when we kind of went remote from the corporate office there in San Marcos and Innovation Center. And I kind of picked up, hey, what can we do to kind of cook food? I'd always like to barbecue, like just grill steaks and things like that. But I was fortunate enough to pick up a smoker, and it really turned into a passion. And now we're using it almost every weekend to do ribs and brisket and all sorts of things. So just it's really, really fun to learn new recipes and try new things. And many friends have kind of picked up the hobby too. So kind of learning from each other when it comes to different recipes and things like that. But really focusing, kind of trying to become an expert on ribs is kind of my true passion if I had to pick out one certain thing. So just mixing it up with different rubs and things like that. But it's a lot of fun, and the family enjoys it for sure. So I was able to cater a full Christmas dinner with a overnight brisket, a pulled pork, 3 racks of ribs, all sorts of things. So no one's going hungry over here.
Man, my mouth watering just hearing about it. I mean,
mine too.
Is there the Andy Craig secret sauce or special rub or anything like that you're not allowed to give details out about? Or
so my secret sauce is combining multiple pre-made rubs from different brands and kind of creating my own unique profile. So I take a couple different, popular, over-the-counter kind of supermarket rubs and combine them to add some kind of sweet and heat and make some different flavor profiles. But yeah, nothing from the ground up. I won't lie there.
Well, Andy, if you decide to start doing tri-tip, adding tri-tip into the mix, let me know, because being here in Florida now, that's the one thing that I miss the most about California from a barbecue standpoint.
Definitely. Those are Friday nights here. So Friday night is beef and steak night, and then Saturday and Sunday is smoking. So I still do some tri-tip on Friday nights for sure.
Okay, sounds good. I'll make sure that my calendar arrangements happen properly next time I'm in the San Diego area.
There we go.
Andy, thanks so much for your time. We really appreciate having you as a guest on this week's edition of On Deck with Avoya. Andy Craig, everybody, our Senior Director of Consumer Marketing. Again, Andy, thanks so much for your time. Next week, we're really excited. Our featured guest on Deck with Avoya is going to be Tammy Ritchie. Tammy Ritchie is the Vice President of Network Engagement, and she'll be joining us next Thursday. As we move forward, let's talk about our special promotion, our special offer for you to be able to join the Avoya Travel Network at no fee right now. That's right. For the right kind of experienced travel professional, we're waiving our normal $4.95 affiliation fee. You can explore with complete flexibility, no long-term contract or exclusive agreement. But as you can see on the slide, this promotion is set to expire here in just a couple of days. So please reach out. We need to hear from you. We at least need to get your information in-house, get you with one of our specialists that can get you qualified for the promotion. As I've said in previous editions, what we're looking for is agents that have a book of business, experienced leisure travel professionals that have some level of a book of business, maybe future cruise credits or future travel credits or just future bookings on the books, that you might need a more stable home, a better environment of which to call home for you and your business, and you're looking to make that switch. So again, please reach out. My contact information, it's not that hard to reach me, okay? They're going to switch over here and get my contact information for you. It's chrisdongreen@avoyatravel.com. There's the phone number. You can reach us through our website, our brand new revamped avoyanetwork.com. It looks absolutely fantastic, very user-friendly. But don't wait, okay? Again, it's set to expire here in just a couple of days. So please reach out, and we'd love to just start that conversation. We're hoping these kind of conversations start a spark within you that makes you want to reach out and find out more, find out why Avoya Travel's been listed as the #1 host agency year after year after year, why the vendors tell us both privately and publicly that they believe our network and our business model is the model that's going to have the most success in a post-COVID world. So again, we'd love to hear from you. We do thank you so much for your time. We hope to hear from you. And again, remember that promotion is going to end at the end of the month, so don't wait. We'll be back next week for another edition of On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update. Again, every Thursday live on Facebook on our Avoya Travel Network page, Thursdays at 2:15 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 11:15 a.m. Pacific Time. Thank you again. Have a fantastic week, everyone.